bit of poetic foreplay. One day I will swallow up the world. And when I do, I hope you all perish violently.
Is that the motherfucking moon dog?
Moon dog.
Man, you look like shit.
I look like I always look.
You have pissed away your talent on women and booze and...
Now you're talking. That's what feeds the juices up here in my nugget, man. I get all these things going. I start to hear music. The world's reverbing back and forth, and I hit the frequency. I start to dance to it, and my fingers get moved.
Well, those 2 tickets to paradise is Joe and Sean. Ticket apiece for you. Get some melodic, smooth-talking movies today on the Ella Cinema. I don't know why I brought that other than the fact that Joe was recently talking about how my mom likes to listen to his voice on the podcast. Joe Kool in the house.
If she's listening to this, it wasn't all love and good humor. And,
Oh, it was.
But yes, I think a lot of ladies listen to my voice on your podcast, and they're quite entertained.
I've received a few questions. Who's that Joe Kool? And I said, well, first off, not cool. Not cool. Ella Cinema back with another dish. Got Joe Kool in the house.
Hey, what's going on, good people? I'm back as always. It's been a while, but I'm back here just in time to.
What was the last one? Speaking of, you were ripping on me about my memory. What was the last one we did?
Oh shit.
Yeah.
So I know it's the last one that we did because I was
so tell me.
I'll
admit to the crowd. I didn't remember.
Well, it was definitely the
Yeah.
Oscar. Was it the Oscars?
No, I think we have done one together since then.
Oh yeah, we did a movie that I thought was Shoplifters.
Oh yeah.
That's the one. Yeah,
and Holmes and Watson. Yeah, that's a few weeks ago.
See, look at that. See, look how clutch I am.
There you go.
I'm always clutch.
You're not clutch.
I'm
You just did
always
process
clutch.
of elimination. You went, was it the Oscar ones? No. Sean answered, was it this one? Yeah, it's fucking Beach Bum. We went and saw the Beach Bum this morning.
Yeah, see, he woke me up and said it's imperative that we go see this movie.
I did not say
because
that.
The zombie apocalypse is coming, so go see
first
it
of all, you want to know why Joe and I don't do a podcast all the time? Is because we have conflicting schedules. So when I'm free, I text him when I'm free, hey, do you want to see this movie and review it? It's not...
He texted me 10 minutes before I had to be there and said, do the flash, and I need you to teleport here now.
No. Even though I violated his 11 o'clock rule, I wanted to give him time in which I drove the point home that we were going to a different theater than him and I usually go to, and it would take him a little bit longer to get there. I think I sent that bitch off at like 9:30, 10 o'clock.
It was definitely like 11 o'clock.
Okay, it was still an hour and a half before the movie started.
It's cool. I mean, it's cool. You know, I was just waking up.
You're kind of sounding like the Beach Bum right now.
I mean, hey, when you work, 20-hour shifts a day, you deserve to sleep, a little bit.
Well,
so, I do put out fires and I do help people.
Don't work for a titan of industry and that won't happen.
Well, hey, you know what? It's not my fault that I am a trained
It ain't my fault.
engineer.
You know
I
I do
fix
that.
trains. I fix trains on the weekends.
Oh, you do?
Yes, I just put together Thomas the train the other day, so it was quite rough.
Cool. Guess I
So
didn't
into
know.
the movie, what did you think? How was it?
Well, first of all, I liked it. I'm not gonna go as
On the spot, on a scale of 1 to 10. I'm putting you on the spot.
That's fine.
Yeah.
1 to 10, 7.
Okay.
I give it a 7. I think I may have mentioned this to you earlier as we were getting ready. But first of all, the Beach Bum. I don't know. Pause this and fucking YouTube the trailer.
This is the time where he actually told me you guys are actually going to be looking this up. So I'm looking at it like, okay, I'll be quiet.
Even Joe was confused. So, I'm gonna mention it for a while until I feel like I've driven the point home. I don't watch trailers, so I just knew about this one on paper, and I was like, oh well, on paper it sounds fun. I didn't think that I was gonna go there and be like, my life's changed, bro. My life, But for those of you that don't know, it's Matthew McConaughey. A very gorgeous looking Isla Fisher, Snoop Dogg, Martin Lawrence, Zac Efron, Jonah Hill.
Jonah Hill had a good performance.
And I mean, as I'm looking at the cast list, you know who else had a good performance was Donovan St. V. Williams, which was the pilot with glaucoma.
Yeah, he was pretty good.
So basically, it is about a poet who just kind of lives this very crazy and bizarre lifestyle, drugs and women, but not in like a dark or negative way, just kind of like just loving life. I mean, I believe that's one of his lines. What he digs the most is fun. And I know you're hearing that right now, and you're like, what the fuck are you talking about? But like, I promise you, when he does say that line, he's giving you the basis for why he thinks that. It's not just like this fucking knee-jerk.
Yeah, it's the insight. It's basically trying to give you insight to his thought process and the way he went about life and the movie itself. I think that it was a...
Are you on the spot?
So, let me...
One out of 10.
Let me preface it.
Go on now.
Quickly. When I saw the preview or trailer, I actually thought about The Big Lebowski. So I thought about the dude instantly.
Well, that's your first mistake.
So yeah, so my expectations were a little bit higher than what it does, and then you gotta keep in mind, like, I'm thinking about Stoner Flick, I'm thinking about Super Troopers. You know, I'm thinking like my bar is just there.
I would argue in Matthew McConaughey at this point in his career,
it's not
you should have known, but
yeah, I know. Trust me.
Dallas Buyers Club, he is now.
Yeah. I mean, but Lincoln commercials, you know what I mean? So I know what he's about. Like, he's very serious in those Lincoln commercials, so I knew kind of what to expect. You know, because you can't pull that off. You really can't if you're not serious. So, you know, but I think the movie was good. I think it was I'll probably give it a 7 too. I think that...
You do not. You said you hated it.
No,
What'd that one lady
I
say right when the credits... Or did you hear that one lady behind us right as the credits rolled? That is the worst movie I have ever seen. And I just wanted to like turn around and go, calm down.
Yeah,
like,
it was because it was kind of like a 6. It was like a 6. I'm giving it a 7 because... It was like, I like Snoop was in it, and he's one of my favorite people in the world. And then it's like also...
I thought Snoop was good. You said you didn't really like...
So I think he should just been Snoop. Like, I don't like
nah,
the fact
man, he was lingerie.
He could just been Snoop. You know what I'm saying? But he was cool. Snoop was...
Coke.
Yeah, but he was pretty solid. Like, I think it was a solid film. I would say go out and see it. I would say get stoned to see it. Like I said, it's a 6.5, maybe a 7 for me. You know, because the rewatch value was kind of, so I'm 6.5.
His nickname's Moondog. It's Matthew McConaughey. He plays Moondog.
Yeah, so get a setup. So what's it about?
Well, Moondog is a rebellious burnout. I'm reading what Wiki says here. Because I actually like to read kind of like what other people's synopsis of like what they saw in the film. Because like sometimes they'll either phrase it or see something that I'm just like, I don't know what you watch. Anyway, a rebellious burnout who only knows how to live life by his own rules. I mean, I guess there's some truth to that, but I wouldn't see exactly what I was talking about, the phrasing. I don't know if I agree with he only knows how to live life by his own rules. No, he's making a conscientious decision to do it. As he puts it in the film, he's going on adventures. Mm-hmm. This is just another adventure for me.
Yeah, I mean, he basically says he's going to take life and go by the laws because he wants to live it to its fullest because you don't know when it's going to end. And then you have a surreal moment where he actually loses his wife because they're actually, in fact, living life on the edge. So it's like, I think it's going to be a gut check moment where he keeps living life the way he's doing it, even when he loses the wife in front of him. So
those are the parts I guess I'm referring to where I think, like, this dream, if you will, almost feels like a dream-esque type movie, right? Because we are in almost a constant state of euphoria because of all the drugs that we're on, quote unquote, us, right, the audience watching. It does feel like
I was actually on drugs watching, but yeah.
Some asshole put it on Rotten Tomatoes. It said it's the same scene over and over, and I mean maybe there's some truth to that, but I would tend to disagree because of the moments you just said. We meet Moondog. We find out that he's really underneath all of the fucking the coke, mm-hmm, in the weed. He's a brilliant poet. He's referred to as those around him as a genius of a man. And as we're having these states of euphoria, and in fact we're during a state of euphoria when his wife dies. Like we are in, because if you remember, like it's all fun and games, but we're seeing just these flashes where she's they're in a car and she
on the opposite side of the street.
Yeah.
And you're like, is this happening?
Cars are swerving out of the way, and you're like, oh fuck. And you kind of knew something fucked up was gonna happen because when right before they leave the bar, she's like, hey, you want to go driving? And it was almost really in your face when you were like, oh no.
Well, because it's like I think what you're trying to describe is we're watching him make bad decisions, but we're seeing him have a good time. So it's like we're following a good time, but it's almost to a point where it's like, hey, is this not a good decision? Even when he's coming through the wedding and he like wheels the wheelchair off and he like grab, it's like it's a good time and you laugh and it's like, damn, that's kind of
fucked up.
Yeah,
fucked
so
up.
it's like the whole time was like,
so
okay.
kind of to what Joe's talking about is his daughter is getting married to who he and the wife, Isla Fisher, keep referring to as Limp Dick.
Mm-hmm.
His daughter is getting married and he's like super late. Like Snoop, who got ordained to do the wedding, is like waiting on him and everybody's like, what the fuck? But like it's this weird, nobody kind of cares. Oh, it's just Moondog type
like, that's
fucking.
Just like he's fucking a chick
Which
in
if
a
you
bar
think about it,
15
on your
minutes
daughter's
before this,
wedding,
like,
that's selfish.
It is. I mean, it's really so, but that's going back to show you his character. Even to the
Right.
point where he gets locked up, and they're like, "You have to do this." He asks the judge, "Can you go to like a place where they give rubbing tubs?" You know,
Yeah.
as far as the thing. So it's
Well,
like
he
his
said
whole
for medicinal purposes.
exactly. So the whole thing is like he is like you get it. He's living his life on his own terms, which is cool and free love and all that. But it's like, bro, you like damn. At the audience, you kind of like, yeah, you fucking up now. Like it comes to a point where you're like, yeah, it is kind of you fucking up. But I love the one thing I will say about the director. Pull it up. What's his name?
Harmony Korine.
The one thing I like about Mr. Harmony, I hope it's a Mr.
No, you've seen his movies.
Oh, okay, cool. Oh, Spring Breakers. Okay.
And
okay.
Kids, I don't know if you ever saw Kids. That's a white person's movie.
Yeah.
That was but that is
I did see Kids.
you. So the HIV and all that.
Yeah, all that shit with the AIDS, that shit was crazy. I actually didn't see it. I just wanted to be like, fuck it, I'm gonna go with it.
Well, I appreciate you being honest, though. I appreciate it. But here's the thing, though. You know of that movie. That's how, it was just one of those things. When I saw it as a kid, I was like, what in the fuck did I just watch? Talking about, like, showing little girls your dick and stuff. I was just like, what the fuck? So,
but going back to the
Harmony Korine.
I think that the drastic leap or drop off from euphoria to seriousness or to death or like impending danger was like real. So what I mean by that, you take Martin Lawrence, introduce him, they're in the water, they're kicking it, having a good time as dolphins, he get his foot bite off by a shark.
Oh yeah, Martin Lawrence, and this is Captain Whack.
And then you go to the wife, they're having a good time leaving the bar, then you go to her dying. So it's like, it was a constant like setup, it was just going to this uphill euphoria, and it's like boom, you just have some impending danger.
And I
so
guess
I kind of like how they switched that up, because you would never see it's like, oh damn, that went far left.
Right.
You know what I mean? So I kind of like how they did that.
Well, I mean, and I guess because of those scenes, and not that I have any problem with it, but that's why I think it doesn't get the 7 out of, that's why it gets the 7 out of 10 for me, because in those instances, it almost felt, I'm not even gonna say forced. I don't think it was forced. It was almost like the landing wasn't good for me. Like I didn't mind the takeoff, like in this particular instance, his wife dying, or well, Martin Lawrence's particular.
It was funny, but it was kind of serious. I'm sorry.
Yeah, no, you're 100% right. So like, what happens to Martin Lawrence? He does train dolphins, and then he inexplicably almost like when he says he sees the dolphin, we're in the back of the boat with this all white petrified family.
Mm-hmm.
He's like, oh, it's orgy season. Well, first of all, the build up as they're going to
trained
the
dolphins.
yeah, and it's just like really uncomfortable, but again, because of how good the euphoric
mm-hmm.
portions of this are written, you're laughing along with this weird situation that's about to go down, and then as Martin Lawrence is diving into the ocean, and I say inexplicably because we're all watching. And they don't look like dolphins; they look like sharks.
Yeah, but what's crazy is like it's not until like because like as I'm watching, I'm like, okay, it's dolphins. So I look at them like it doesn't look like dolphins, but it's such an euphoric moment. I'm like, they're fake. Like he has like people out there.
Or this really isn't even happening right now.
And then I'm like almost like with Matthew McConaughey. He's like, oh, this is part of the show.
No,
like,
he was asking. He was going, is this a part of your show, man?
No, he was like, no, this is cool. Like, he does this all the time. Like, he was going along with the, okay, this must be all natural and normal. Then, like, when the little kid's like, is that a shark? I'm like, oh shit, that is a fucking shark.
Oh, it's before he even jumped in the water when I saw the fucking fins out of the water. I'm like, those are sharks right now. Which is why I'm sitting there going, did they even leave the dock yet? Or are they all fucked up on the dock just imagining
is this a trip or something?
this? Imagining this because again, Moondog's been known for going on
acid
two-day acid trips and stuff. So is this a trip? And it's so that one was fine for me because I think
there's a Jaws moment where the big ass shark deep blue sees him like motherfucker.
That really does happen. Like and it didn't even look that bad. I mean, I kind of half expected because of what the movie was going to be. I'm like, if we show the shark.
Picture Samuel L. Jackson, Deep Blue Sea.
No, it wasn't that bad. That was fucking brutal. But okay, so that landing, if you will, so the conclusion of it all worked for me because I guess I saw Martin Lawrence and I knew it was going to be comedic, and then huge spoilers here. He loses a foot, and somehow or another, the family and Matthew McConaughey retrieve the foot with and again, I'm laughing throughout this, and he they part ways with Matthew McConaughey.
He gives him his foot back, and he gets the hat in return. It's the sailor captain hat that he wears.
They do a trade. Moondog trades Captain Wax's foot for his sea captain's cap, and it wasn't until that moment I'm like, oh, this is real. Like this is happening right now. So that landing, that conclusion worked for me. But again, I don't know.
It was 0 to 100 for sure.
It was 0 to 100, and then locking up the e-brake, which is fine. But is the car going to skid to a proper halt, or if you lock up the e-brake, are we going to fucking barrel roll into a barricade? Like what?
Because as I was taking this trip that we call this movie, I definitely thought he was going to go through rehab, clear up his acts, and then come out and be like he was like on the video he was watching,
But he meets Zac Efron, what's his name, Flicker?
And I think we had a conversation when I first worked, and I thought his character was kind of. It wasn't really needed because he could have escaped on his own.
Another thing you want to know is, so there's little.
And then I think, but I'm gonna let you say your point. The one thing I'm gonna let you finish. Yeah, the one thing I think I got from that was when he hit the dude with the bottle to get the money. I think
another fucked up.
0 to 100.
Somebody on a rascal riding home, just this harmless old man. They fucking take a giant bottle to the back of their head and fucking rob him. And then just leave.
Couldn't need cash for booze.
And this is after they break out of rehab.
But I'm gonna let you touch on this scene and sum it up. But
I already forgot what I was gonna say.
Yeah, it's cool. But what I was gonna say was I think that when he was like, "Whoa, man, bad vibes," or like, "Nah, cool," like you saw for an instance, he almost was like, "Okay, maybe this is." When I say him, I'm talking Matthew McConaughey. He almost was like, "Okay, maybe this is kind of on the edge of crossing the line." So I think that was a small instance where you see he had some stuff of conscience.
Yeah.
Where he was like
100%,
okay.
where he's realizing, because I think he says, this is, we're being derelicts right now, or something
he
like
said
that.
It wasn't cool. Basically, he was
derelict
like, it's not cool.
activity.
So I think that's the one time, snoring over here. Yeah. So I think that's the one time you see him like, okay, maybe this is kind of like on the edge. Also when like, his girl dies, you see him kind of like, kind of have that moment where she dies in front of you. He's like, oh shit. Just got real, and he's also a little sober because he's in the hospital. So you only see him in those moments a few times in the movie there. So
and this would be just to nitpick. I guess I got kind of annoyed that they were all like them in the rehab, like as you're meeting Flicker, which is Zac Efron's character. They're like all listening to Creed and shit. I kind of thought the Creed thing. I was like, okay, I get what you're. I don't know. Like I said, if I were to nitpick the movie, I was like, okay, I get it. Like they're in rehab, but like, I don't know. There was because I think Zac Efron can do no wrong in my mind. There was.
I mean, he wasn't in the Neighbors. He was pretty funny.
He was like in a normal universe version of Brad Pitt in 12 Monkeys. That's what he reminded me of. I was like, okay, this is if we weren't in this post-apocalyptic. Well, I mean, technically, where they are right now, that isn't post-apocalyptic, but in 12 Monkeys. But that's kind of the vibe I got from Zac Efron, just super high energy. It was just weird. That was, I guess, though I love Zac Efron so much, that was one of those scenes that, for whatever reason, it didn't tie up the way that, like, it was just weird. Like, you fucking take a bottle to an old man's head, and then you and Zac Efron part ways, and then that was just kind of the end of it. You don't have to.
Yeah, it was kind of incomplete. It was kind of like
no consequences to just hitting a poor old man in an alleyway.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know. It was, again, that 7 out of 10. That, I mean, I think that's pretty strong.
I said 6.5, but yeah.
I mean, I didn't feel like that lady behind us. That's for sure. I didn't feel that.
I don't know. Like, I mean, as Matthew has gotten more into, you know, his last couple movies, I've kind of, I ain't gonna lie to you, ever since Interstellar, like, I'm like, okay, I'm on a Matthew McConaughey train. You know what I mean?
I got back on the Matthew McConaughey train with True Detective. I went,
oh yeah, he did do good. Yeah, he did do good with that. That was a series, but yeah, I'm with you.
Well, I mean, did you think much of? I mean, not that he was terrible, but like, did you take him serious until True Detective? I don't know that I did.
I didn't. I really didn't.
And that feels unfair of me to say, because I know as an actor what you basically have, the bullshit you have to put up with to call acting your profession.
Right.
I can't even imagine, as far as like living the day to day.
Yes,
So it feels rude of me to say that, because Matthew McConaughey been around since the fucking early 90s. And
yes,
like,
and as an actor myself.
Oh yes.
Yes.
What is your what school did you base yourself out of? Juilliard?
No, that's for dancers.
Are you? It's not.
I know.
Are you a stage guy or are you a camera guy?
I'm more of a camera improv guy, kind of just.
Oh, improv. I'm supposed to go to some improv thing on Saturday, and I don't.
Really?
I'm not doing that. I'm supposed to go watch it. But here's the thing: I don't want to go because I'll get mad, knowing that where you and I live. I'm not going to say, but where you and I live, I'm confident that whatever I will see, I could do better.
I mean, we could totally go there and just like.
No, I don't want to go there and shit on it. I'm going to go there with a.
I would go there with you, and you know we could shit on him.
So you know.
I get super stoned and go in there and be like, hey.
You know, Becca's friend, or you know, my chick's friend. It's her boyfriend's. Her boyfriend's like improv troupe.
Oh.
So yeah, I don't know if I. Anyway, beach bum.
Yeah, beach
like,
bum. We're off the rails.
I know that if I go, I'm just gonna be like, oh
yeah,
this is what you guys call comedy here.
Yeah, that's shit.
This is what you
and
guys
then when
call
you know him, it's
ad-lib.
like you look at them like, oh okay.
I never met the dude yet.
But the fact that you know that you have access to him, or you know people that know him, it's like, if I ever see you again, I'm look at you sideways. But
well, me and my chick were talking about it, and she's like, well, is that something you'd be interested in? I'd be like, of course I've been interested in it, but I lived in Los Angeles for a fair amount of time. I ain't paying somebody where we live. I'm not handing money over for somebody to tell me how to do the shit.
Yeah, I hear you.
Not gonna happen.
But beach bum. Oh, I wanted to touch on, I guess before we wrap it up, Jonah Hill. I thought he did a good job. I liked his accent.
Speaking of ad-lib kings, good segue.
Thank you.
You do know what I mean? He's just like one of the best at doing off the cuff.
Oh really?
Yeah, like off
I gotta watch
script stuff.
Behind the scenes shit.
Yeah, you do. He's one of those dudes dude, like where they'll be like, you don't watch any bonus features on all your fucking Blu-rays you got, dude. On all like fucking Knocked Up, 40-year-old, all of that stuff. They have what's called Line-O-Rama, where they just it's repetitious and then.
They keep whatever's good.
Right.
Yeah, I mean, I probably have like tried to watch
Jonah.
I'm usually pretty stoned, so I just
unreal.
I just watch it and I just be like, all right, time for another one. But yeah, I'm gonna go.
You said you loved his accent.
Yeah, it was funny.
He's in New Orleans, I think, right? Bayou-ish.
It sounded southern. I guess it was New Orleans. I didn't go that deep into it. I just thought it was southern, but good job. Yeah, for sure. But I just feel like
how astute.
I just feel like he has good on-screen presence, man. So I like his character. And then him and Matthew had a good rapport. So I like this.
I thought they had a weird rapport, grabbing each other by the day, but like not just grabbing, getting up in it.
Yeah.
Really getting it.
And just describing.
Right.
Yeah.
I think he grabs his daughter's husband's
at the altar
and says, "Oh,
about 5 inches
flaccid."
Yeah, it was weird.
Yeah, so I mean, with them, I half expected like that shit going into it, where I was gonna be like, it's gonna be this bizarre trip of a movie. I just knew it was going to be that, and I guess that was one of those moments where I just go, well, yeah. And I've seen some behind the scenes footage of Matthew McConaughey running lines for Eastbound and Down, and he's a cool dude, but he's out there, I think.
Oh, really?
Yeah, like some of the shit that he was doing, and I don't know if he was doing it because he knew the camera was rolling, or he was trying to be funny. I don't know what it was. All I'm saying is that I was like, is he funning right now? This is how he prepares, and like Danny McBride's just sitting there laughing, watching him like prepare and giving each line, and Matthew's a weird guy.
Yeah,
Talented, but most of the talented artists are weird. Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
And there was some of those ticks that you see in Eastbound and Down in this, like his yip, like you'd be like, oh yip, yeah. So he would do that before he would go on camera with Danny McBride. There was just this weird thing where Danny's like, I know that's not good radio, but I'm giving Joe the wide-eyed radio, is this going on type look.
Yeah. No.
So, which is why I guess I kind of thought this is a role of a lifetime for Matthew McConaughey, because he can make it as weird as
he wants to be. And he can also be as stoned as he wants to be, or act however he wants.
Which I heard he was. Snoop put real.
Yeah, he put real weed in the stage.
Some fucking story said when he did that, when Snoop and Matthew McConaughey smoked real weed on set, that he rapped for 13 hours straight. Get the fuck out. Talk about fucking clickbait society that we live in now. It's like he probably rapped for 30 seconds and Snoop went, is this dude fucking...
Although, no lie, if I could smoke with Snoop, I probably would definitely...
would you?
I would definitely jump at the opportunity.
So, what'd you think about the resolution of this?
Oh, the end of the movie?
Yeah.
Yeah, so I saw it coming, like, as soon as they ordered the fireworks and had the money shoot on the boat.
The look on your face right now does not say 7 out of 10.
Well, because I was so mad. Well, I said 6. I said a 6.
Oh, I'm downgraded, going 6.
I said 6. Because the ending was so predictable. He ordered fireworks. He ordered all the money to come to him on a boat, cash. And he ordered fireworks. I'm like, okay, he's going to burn down the money. And I was like, this is how you're going to end it? Like, I thought it would just... I just wasn't like, oh, okay, that was a funny, or that was a good, or that was a awesome, or it was a dope, or something. I just thought it was like, nah. Then I thought it was dead, but it was just, it was just, I thought it was okay. It wasn't, because even with the dude, it was like, at least it was like the climax of the big ass, robbery attempt, kidnapping attempt, you found everything that was going on, and then like, it left open for us. It was just,
But you're comparing...
to an awesome cult classic. I know I can't do that.
Well, Kool brothers, dude. Well, I'm biased. I'm not saying there's nothing against Harmony. It's just, I think Harmony would agree that Kool brothers pretty...
and I'm not trying to bash it. I just thought that, like I said, when I saw it, I instantly thought about the dude. So for me, I don't know why. For me, I set up a bad comparison.
The Big Lebowski.
It's my fault, yeah. The Big Lebowski.
No, you're Lebowski. You're the Lebowski.
Yeah.
So I guess, for me, it was not as... I get what they were trying to go for, and I wanted it to feel deeper than it was, because ultimately long story short, after his wife dies, who actually had all the money, they have tons of money, but he's not allowed any access to the money until he actually finishes his novel. So it's kind of a Hunter S. Thompson, but Hunter S. Thompson doesn't give a fuck if he finishes whatever. It's different than Fear and Loathing, but so to get the money anyway, so he gets the money by writing a Pulitzer Prize winning poem book, which again
then goes far left, because it's like, damn, he just won a Pulitzer Prize.
That's right. He just wins a Pulitzer Prize, and he's like crying at the podium
in the dress.
In a dress.
And he like goes to the whole dress thing, and I'm like, hey, if you want to wear a dress, more power to you.
And this is supposedly based on a group of friends that Harmony.
I think he met in the Keys, right? Like he went in the Keys and met him or something on vacation. Like,
I bet you that would be the if his intention, his is in Harmony's intention, was to make it just this experience I had, and kind of take it for what you will. Because there are some moralistic attributes to this movie. Like, there's a lot to love it. It feels like we're banging on, but there's a lot to find endearing in Moondog. The free-spirited, but he's also this kind of like genius that wants to move you. there are portions where I don't know if he's taking it serious himself or if he thinks. I don't know. There's scenes that you could make the argument for either case, but to the point of the ending, he unlocks the trust that for writing his novel, and he burns $50 million on a yacht and just kind of floats away in is it a schooner? Is it a scooter?
I thought it was a rowboat with a motor on it. So is that a motorboat?
A rowboat with a motor. So and there is that moment, and it feels kind of like this American dream that is equally sad as it is happy, but I wanted it to feel deeper than it actually did. Like, I wanted it to mean more that he was blowing that fucking money up. Because I don't mind. Joe's sitting there, of course, I'm sitting with Joe in the theater, and he's going, "Oh, you're going to blow that money up, that's ridiculous." Yeah, because, Joe's only about the dollars. He's not seeing inward in himself. He's not looking inward to see what's important in this world.
So listen, when I looked at it, I tried to go, because I always try to find a deep meaning to it. So if I'm going deep, right, there's a scene where before his wife dies, they're listening to the music about the shit where it's like, burn it all down, and this is what love is, burn it all down.
See, now that's a great scene.
This is my house, and I'm gonna lose my house, burn it all down. If I'm gonna die anyway, let the shit burn it all down and keep on dancing. So to me, that was I know, right? So at that moment, him and his wife were on the dock just simply dancing and enjoying each other, and they had just reunited shortly after that, right? And that was a moment of almost like tranquility or whatever. Then you fast forward to him getting his money, and he's unlocked and accomplished what he had to do. He did what people said he couldn't do, and now he has his money. It's like, what?
It's not that they couldn't. It's not that they didn't think he could do it. They just thought
he was bullshitting.
Well, no, that he was just going to kind of living this lifestyle and get around to it, so to speak. Nobody was questioning his genius. It was more or less his drive lazy.
Yeah, it's like, just come with it. It's like, we know you can do it. Like, we know you're great.
But
just
we don't know when, so we're just going to cut you off.
Just come with it. Yeah. It was like, we know you're awesome. Just come with it. Like, no one question that. But
I wanted, I
but
guess.
That's what I think that moment was. That's what I was trying to say. I think, like, him losing that money was like, this money's going to be gone anyway. I am who I am. I'm still going to be me, burning shit away anyway. I'm going to still kick it and still live my life the way I want to live it. So maybe it was him showing he didn't need that trust. It was kind of like a.
And I agree with you. It should have, but don't you think?
But it still,
you shouldn't be conflicted.
But it wasn't.
About
It was too weak. It wasn't strong. Right.
Yeah.
It wasn't strong enough. Like I'm reaching too much, or I'm. But I don't know. It's art. Maybe you're supposed to make your own ideas. Or whatever the fuck bullshit you want to put in there. But
well,
yeah,
it's almost like we got it, but like I think you hit it. It was almost after all we had experienced at that point, it was a weak transition to the ending. Just him and first of all, his laugh was classic. I couldn't help but to giggle every time Moondog, Matthew McConaughey laughed. Well, just that.
And it was like his laugh, like the Matthew McConaughey laugh, the Family Guy. Lincoln Town Car.
So I give it a 7 out of 10 because I think in this day and age, I like to see all ideas, man. I like to see, and I was thinking on the drive home, I was like, here is my whatever Rotten Tomatoes that's gonna start strong and peter out like everything else in my life. I thought it was a presentation of the American dream that kind of fizzles, and maybe that's the intention that we all kind of like. We have these whatever, but that
maybe the message was we could all be great, but we just don't have the drive to be great,
or we lack the adventure.
Yeah, whatever.
Which is what Matthew McConaughey is seeking in this: the adventure, the fun. He said that's the fun's the gun, man. He says. Yeah.
But either way, I guess what I'm saying is worth going to check out.
Snoop had a great line that I loved. Something about if you can't be good or be good at it, so something like that, and I was like, oh, that's a great line by Snoop.
He was like,
I think it is be good or be good at it. Pretty sure.
No. He was like, you be good and be good at it. Like he was saying goodbye.
And he said.
Yeah, he was like saying goodbye. He was like, you be good and be good at it. So he was saying like, be cool and be cool at it. Like I say, you be cool. So I think Snoop.
I can't do it. I don't listen to hip hop.
It's totally cool. Yeah, you like that.
Who do I like?
You like Hootie and Hootie and the Blowfish.
Making a comeback. So who's laughing now?
I don't fucking know. I'm laughing every time I see
1 billion worldwide. What you got to say? Everybody want to hold my hair.
I mean, Hey, you know what? The fact that I know who the Bluefish must mean is a Blowfish must mean something because I know who they are. And isn't like the lead singer, the black guy with the breeze?
Yeah,
Roll
man.
Tide?
Fucking. Oh my god, I saw him in concert. I legit saw him in concert. I can't think of his name right now. It's probably because of that sweet vibe we got going on in the back. Because I mean, it was smoky as a motherfucker in that theater. And by smoky, I mean the people that were there. I mean, they were smoking.
Look me up on IG as always, fans. Joe Kool with a K, JoeKool 321. YouTube, JoeKool, Joe Kool. Y'all be cool, y'all be cool, man.
Yeah, we'll have to. Yeah, we'll see. Sometime we don't know. You don't know.
Back to the Future.
Ella Cinema. ELLISSINEMA. Facebook, Instagram, Twitter. Go out and see Beach Bum. I mean, if it make you feel better, see an early matinee still contributing to the small cinema for sure. I was actually kind of shocked it wasn't playing at the theater that we usually go to. It was actually only at the uppity theaters.
I always go that theater.
Well, I mean, it is not. Oh, because you only go there because you're afraid of bed bugs, right? Isn't that why you don't go to the other
Exactly.
theater?
And I heard there was a rumor that
Fucking, they cleared that out a year and a half ago.
Walk in there and you can leave out with some extra friends and curricular activity with you. Get that scratch and don't go away. You know what I mean?
You can't just do that. That theater is extremely popular. You just can't have a bed bug outbreak and not clean it up. Like, and okay, let's just say they relaxed days ago about it. It's been a year and a half, bro.
Hey, I'm just saying, man. If I ever got this, I can't, stop scratching, man. Somebody gotta die. That's all I'm saying, man.
All right, well, 7 out of 10 at Ella Cinema for Beach Bum. 6 out of 10 at Joe Kool. Matthew McConaughey as Moondog. Snoop Dogg as Lingerie. Isla Fisher as Minnie. You want to take the other? You want to take it?
I'm gonna just say Jonah Hill was Lewis. You said Zac Efron was Flicker. We got Marlon Lawrence as Captain Wick.
Whack.
I said Captain Wick.
Yeah.
John Wick 3 coming soon. Marlon Lawrence is Captain Whack. Stefina
And let's not...
Owen, that's Heather.
His daughter. And let's not forget about a great performance by Donovan St. V. Williams.
The Rastafari. AKA the pilot.
Yeah, smoking a fucking joint the size of a fucking baby's arm.
Yeah, literally.
All right, we'll see you soon.
All right, y'all be good. Flip up the switch.
Yep. Give me a check 1, 2. I mean, you laugh, but you're the one that sounds like a fool on air. I listened back to the last one. It keeps on going like this. Yeah, I'm Joe Kool, and I just wanted you to know that I thought that movie was pretty cool, and I just...
Is that how it sounds?
Yeah, I felt bad for you, man.
Which one was that? Very good memory, recollection. How does it sound right now?
Yeah, but you know, it's been like, again, 2.5 weeks since I've seen you. That's a long time for me. A lot's happened for me. I'm a new man.
Did you have a kid?
Metaphorically, sure.
You metaphorically had a kid.
Mm-hmm.
How do you metaphorically have a kid?
Well, I mean, if it's a metaphor, I can make it whatever I want
Yeah,
to.
I want to hear how you're going to compare these two
Well,
things.
if we're being completely honest, it was more poopy caca humor that I've made several children.
Oh, so you're saying you dropping a deuce?
Yeah, but I thought that, you know, that was a little too poopy caca, a little too crass, a little too juvenile.
Yeah, okay. A little, I mean,
So I didn't throw it out there right away. Why would I want to...
Children could see how you were making that comparison, children.
It's true. My mother could see this. My mother is on the web. She,
Does she Google?
I don't think she Googles me, but she
Does she have a-
she
you
does
ever
a
Googled
YouTube. She
yourself?
listens to my show. She listens to our show.
She has. Does she ask you who's that sexy and voice?
No, she was like, "Who's that crack addict you have on that's never on time?"
She wouldn't know the time frame, bro. That wouldn't even make sense. She listened to the recording. She's probably like, he sounds endearing. and Will Hung.
That's my mother.
Oh, I mean, I don't think she would say it just like that. I don't think you guys might have it.
I don't give a fuck. I'm not one of those people where if you like make sexual jokes towards my mother that I get offended. That's snowflake stuff.
The fact that I've never, in fact, seen or met your mom.
Oh, you should. She's a nice lady.
Really?
Yeah.
She seems cool. I mean, you're not that big of a douche, so I mean, she got to be.
Yeah, she's a good lady. My dad, on the other hand, is kind of a douchebag.
I think actually I met your dad before at the movie.
Yes, you have.
Yeah.
Yes, you have.
I don't think.
I mean, he's all right in person.
Okay.
He's all right on paper. It's just like, you know.
My
But
dad's
again,
all
he's
right
my
on
dad.
paper.
You know, he's like, you know.
What's the most awkward moment you had with your dad growing
Oh,
up?
dude, I didn't want to get into that. Terrible moments.
No, just one. I mean, what's the most awkward?
No.
Just say it. It's
No.
fine. What? You're 50. It doesn't matter now. You'll be dead soon.
It's
so
true.
Fuck it.
All
Say
right.
it.
Well, no. I ain't afraid to die. I've done it already.
You know, I too thought I was gonna die.
When? Oh,
The Vegas
Recently,
thing.
yeah, the Vegas
But I was ready. I was like, fuck it. I was like, you know what?
I wish I would have had that moment, to be honest with you, where I could have went, I'm ready.
Yeah, I was like, fuck it, I'm ready, man.
I didn't. The last thing I remember was like a week beforehand. Yeah. I was like, we got to go see Shape of Water. And she was like,
that's crazy.
She's like, yeah, we saw that. I forgot that we got the house.
And came home like, oh shit, we bought a house?
No, I went, are the cats all right? Is the apartment okay and everything? Because I didn't know what I had did, you know.
And you're like, oh shit, I'm the man. I got
And
a
she's
house
like,
now.
we got a house. And I was like, oh, is that okay? What did I do? Yeah, it was fucked up.
He was like, so like, I got a house now. Like, I'm a baller, like Fresh Prince of Bel-Air. Like, you walk through that house.
No, I remembered my shitty existence right away.
You did? Oh, okay. Like, you woke up, oh, okay, I'm still Sean. Is that how it was? I always wonder, like, do you wake up like, okay, I got my hands, like, who am I? How's shit going?
All right. Now that I've